Hello, my name is Ola, and I'm going to be reacting to Child's Play 1988 Kill Count Recount by Dead Meat. Uh, yeah, like I said, when Chucky first came, well, I wasn't even born yet when this movie came out, but yeah, around the time that I was a kid, I was like 4 or 5 when uh, when I saw Chucky. I didn't like him because he scared the living daylights out of me. But of course, I grew to love Chucky because like he's funny, and of course, like I really don't think there's no better Chucky than Brad Dourif. I mean, Mark Hamill, I thought he was pretty good, but he's just not my Chucky. And I didn't really like the new Child's Play movie. I would mostly, man, it just made me want to go back to this one. Like honestly, uh, but if you like it, you thought it was okay, that's okay, you know. And well, let's see the kills. And actually, I already seen the original kill count that came out a while back. But like, yeah, let's take a look at the recount. And if you want to like, comment, subscribe my channel, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Here we go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're starting our second look at the Chucky franchise, beginning with the original Child's Play. I first covered this series 5 years ago, back when the Kill Count was a much simpler show. As I did with the Friday the 13th series, I'm going to give Chucky a quote-unquote recount, which again has nothing to do with the number of kills being counted, because that's not really what this show is about anymore. Instead, I'm doing this to take a more in-depth look at one of the most enduring franchises in all of horror. Chucky the Killer Doll is nothing short of horror royalty. Personally, I think when it comes to mainstream audiences, aka not us horror freaks, Chucky might be better known than Jason, Freddy, and Michael. It's debatable for sure, but almost everyone can identify Chucky by both name and appearance, especially if you were around when Bride came out in the late 90s. He was freaking everywhere.
I'm doing love scenes with Jennifer Tilly, and you're calling me a dummy?
What's even more impressive is how many people are scared of the little fucker. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Anecdotally, there's not a single horror villain who I hear more people say scares them. The Chucky franchise is also pretty unique among the major horror properties when it comes to continuity. While the other slasher bigwigs tend to have sequels that ignore previous installments, the Child's Play series has maintained a consistent storyline throughout all 7 of its films, and into its TV series, which premiered on Sci-Fi and USA in 2021. I'll be covering season 1 on the Kill Count at the end of these recounts, just in time for the season 2 premiere on Wednesday, October 5th. The other awesome thing about the Chucky movies is that even though the story remains unbroken across its 34 years of existence, the movies vary greatly in tone and style, giving viewers a nice sampling of the horror genre. All the sequels, to some degree, are horror comedies, thanks to Chucky's predilection for wisecracks and one-liners.
How's it hanging, Phil?
Don't fuck with the Chuck.
Hey, kid. I'm gonna go kill your sister. You wanna come?
But the grounded stories of parts 2 and 3 are way different than the meta-comedies of Bride and Seed, which are different still from the gothic Curse of Chucky and the blinding white clinical Cult of Chucky. Helming the character and franchise throughout all these changes has been Don Mancini, who came up with the idea and co-wrote the script for the original film. Mancini would co-write or write every single Chucky film and direct the last 3 himself before going on to create and run the TV show. He's built a loyal group of cast and crew members who have followed him through all the ups and downs of the series. It's become a family franchise. Literally, there are generations of families working together to bring us more Chucky. I think that's great. Just like I think it's great that the series is so gay. As a gay man, Don Mancini was willing to make these movies inclusive even when the US was much more homophobic. In fact, Chucky is probably the most queer-friendly franchise in all of horror.
I have a queer kid.
You have a kid.
Gender fluid.
Every legend starts somewhere, and Chucky's begins with the original Child's Play. Created and released in 1988, this movie is a bit of an outlier when compared to everything that would follow. It's much more serious than its sequels, just as much a psychological thriller as it is a slasher. Chucky lies low for half the damn movie, and I think only spits out a single pun, maybe two. Mancini's original script was rewritten many times over, with John Lafia and director Tom Holland, no, not that one, receiving co-writer credits. There is so much to say about the production of this film, a lot of which would have implications for the rest of the series. But I've given this episode enough of an intro. Let's once again get to the kills.
Yeah.
The movie begins with a Chi-Town chase. Detective Mike Norris tries to catch up to the Lakeshore Strangler Charles Lee Ray, but this is a mustard-only town, so the hot dog detective takes a shot that hits Ray right in the buttocks. Though he's good at sit-up gunfire, Ray's confidant, Eddie Caputo, decides to play it safe and drive away, leaving Ray behind.
Eddie, help me! Eddie, don't leave me, God, no!
Charles Lee Ray is played by a 37-year-old Brad Dourif, who had an Oscar nom from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and who is always a delight to watch and listen to. We've seen him on this channel in Alien Resurrection and Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yep.
He was cast by director Tom Holland after playing the villain in Fatal Beauty, Holland's Whoopi Goldberg action comedy thriller. Okay. Hoping to nab a copy of Fireball Island, Ray shoots his way into a toy store. Norris follows. Hey, while you're in there, detective, could you please pick me up a title card? His shopping complete, Norris moves on to shooting Ray and trying to eat his gloves. Pewy! Ray realizes he's dying and swears revenge on Norris and his cowardly partner Eddie, but probably some matter what, right?
No matter what!
Oh, my bad. No matter what. He makes his way past a fucking good guy SMG and takes the absolute clumsiest fall imaginable straight into a stack of good guy dolls. Ray's looking to escape through the power of voodoo, so it's a good thing he saw this baby doll. He launches into an incantation to begin a soul migration.
Give me the power I beg of you!
This brings on a bunch of Gozerian clouds, and eventually, with more chanting, a full-on explosion that sends Mike Norris back in a wire stunt and sets the store on fire all over the place. Hell yeah! I'm obsessed with practical stunts, and it's hard to beat an exploding building. I mean, they blew this shit the fuck up. Afterward, Mike Norris finds Charles Lee Ray dead among the wreckage. And yes, I'm counting this as a death, even though we all know he just played Hide the Soul. It's the 6th birthday of Andy Barkley, a good guy fanatic whose thoughts echo longtime Dead Meat fans watching this recount.
I saw this one.
The cute little breakfast monster craps his pajama pants when he sees this on the TV. No, not the terrifying giant Chucky, but the rollout of the latest good guy doll.
Hi, I'm Oscar, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi-ho! Ha ha ha!
Oh, Andy, if only you could have wound up with Oscar. I know it's the director who should get credit/blame for child acting, but god damn it, you can't help but be amazed by Alex Vincent. The whole movie rests on this 6-year-old actor, and he nails his part so intuitively. Andy's single mom, Karen Barkley, truly loves her kid, but she can't afford to give him all the horrifying dolls he wants.
You want some toys, don't you?
Yeah, or maybe he just wanted you to pack those clothes in a size-appropriate box, Karen. Andy's enthrallment with a toy because of marketing comes from Don Mancini's original script, which he wrote as a student at UCLA. Initially called Batteries Not Included, changed to Blood Buddies due to a Steven Spielberg film, it was a satirical look at advertising, which Mancini's father worked in. Mancini noted the insane popularity of the Cabbage Patch Kids in 1983 and My Buddy dolls in 85. These toys, along with Trilogy of Terror, Magic, and The Twilight Zone, inspired him to write about a killer doll. Producer David Kirshner bought the script and added the so-called Frankenstein moment when the doll is brought to life. He also came up with the name Charles Lee Ray, based on 3 real men who scared him: Charles Manson, Lee Harvey Oswald, and Ray Romano. James Earl Ray. It's Mancini and Kirshner who have stuck with the series over more than 30 years, which is why they sometimes joke that they're the horror genre's Broccolis, the family who have run the James Bond franchise for decades. Of course, this first movie rules on its own, and a huge part of that is director Tom Holland, who had done Fright Night a few years prior. Holland extensively rewrote Mancini's script, as did John Lafia, who was brought on by Studio United Artists. Holland and Lafia removed the toy marketing through line and made Karen a struggling single mother, which I think was a great choice. She works at the now closed Carson Peary Scott department store downtown. It's the perfect place to get good guy dolls for cheap from Dirty Man.
How do we know the damn thing isn't stolen, huh?
Steal this.
Haha, come along, Maggie. Of course this doll is stolen. Inside, this Karen doesn't want to speak to her manager since he's given her an extra shift tonight.
It's my son's birthday.
Mrs. Barclay, are you happy with your job here?
Yes, of course I am.
Then I suggest...
Hey, chill out, would you, Walter?
Thankfully, her spunky best friend Maggie offers to babysit. Maggie's played by Dinah Manoff, who 10 years earlier was Marty Maraschino in Grease. Marty was like second in command of the Pink Ladies, y'all. And as the Grease fandom wiki states, the prettiest, hottest, most attractive, and most beautiful member. Yeah, but how'd she look though? Karen's given just enough time before work to deliver a lifetime of trauma to her son.
Hi, I'm Andy. What's your name? Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi-ho.
Three men are primarily responsible for Chucky's universally recognizable appearance. Don Mancini described Chucky's look in his script, which producer Kirshner used to make sketches, both of Chucky as a good guy doll and in his scarier possessed form. Based on Kirshner's designs, the physical doll was then built by Kevin Yeager, a special effects artist who had already worked on a Friday the 13th and a couple of Nightmare films. He did Freddy's Part 2 makeup and the animatronic Freddy Snake in Dream Warriors. We'll talk more about his animatronics later, but Child's Play wound up being important for Yeager in another way. He and star Catherine Hicks fell in love, married 2 years later, and are still together today after 32 years.
I had already heard the name Kevin Yeager, and I'd seen you with the puppeteers, and I thought, oh my god, he's so cute.
You don't remember meeting me the first time. I walked up, Miss Hicks, and I handed you the doll, and you were hot.
Andy takes to Chucky immediately, teaching him all sorts of important life skills.
That's how you build things.
All Chuck wants to do is watch the news about Eddie Caputo, but Maggie's too tired after splitting the diopter all night. She tells the boys it's beddy-bye time and drags Chucky to the room by a dislocated arm. While Andy gets ready for bed, haha, mad dog! Chucky can't help but get more boob tube action in. Be grateful it's just the news, Maggie. Knowing Chucky, I'm surprised it's not scrambled porn. The movie's first act is mysterious, never completely confirming that Chucky is possessed. Like, sure, we saw Brad Dourif do some voodoo, and the doll turned its head towards the news, but it waits to play its hand for a good long while.
I told you she'd be mad at you if you watched the news.
Like, this whole long-ass shot that zooms in on Chucky's dumb face never once betrays so much as a twitch or an eyelid flutter. Chucky was much more lively and present in the original cut, which was put together by director Tom Holland and ran more than 2 hours long. For whatever reason, during production, tensions arose between Holland and the man who hired him, producer Kirshner. When filming ended, Holland left the project, and Kirshner brought in Mancini to get his input on the edit. They decided to go the route of Alien and Jaws, and cut out a half hour of Chucky footage from the movie's first half. It is incredibly rare for a movie screenwriter to have anything to do with its editing process. By inviting Mancini to help him, Kirshner solidified their friendship and creative partnership that continues to this day. The ambiguity continues when a small figure runs around in the background. That could have been Andy. I mean, we know it's not, but the audience never conclusively sees the other side of this attack on Maggie. Unless by the other side, you mean the other side of this window on a high floor of the Brewster apartments. Maggie falls out of it to her death on top of a truck, leaving an empty nest behind. Karen gets home and waves goodbye to, someone on the bus, then runs into her apartment to see what the flutter-handed fuss is all about. Damn, them cops making themselves at home here, huh? She finds her kid and hugs him, then meets Detective Mike Norris. He has the job of delicately telling her that her best friend is dead.
Miss Peterson's dead, Miss Barkley.
What?
Jeez, dude, want to sand off an edge there, maybe?
How?
She fell from your kitchen window.
I guess not. Norris is played by Chris Sarandon, who had been in The Princess Bride and director Holland's Fright Night, and who would go on to be the speaking voice of Jack Skellington. What? This humperdick suspects Maggie didn't just fall. Maybe she was pushed by a tiny being like Andy. Yeah, you kid, show me your shoes. Andy's feet ain't dusty like the prints on the countertop, but later, Andy notices that Chucky's chucks are. Quick, better tell the grown-ups, Andy, even if you stumble with your line.
Mommy, I know who was on the kitchen counter.
Andy.
Who, Andy? Who?
Chucky.
This kid's cuteness should be outlawed.
But Mom,
Outlawed, I say! After sending the cops home, Karen questions her kid, but that boy's been hanging out with a bad influence.
He said Aunt Maggie was a real bitch and got what she deserved.
Alex Vincent was so hesitant to swear, he pretended he couldn't remember that line during his audition.
I knew the line, I just couldn't say it in front of you. I couldn't get myself to say it.
It's clear he was a mature kid, and everyone appreciated his professionalism.
He was great from the, he never looked at it and was frightened of it. He was a great kid to work with.
He was also never afraid of the Chucky doll on set, because, as he'd always say, when they called cut, it would stop trying to kill him. Chucky's already isolating Andy from the people around him, which won't stay true of Karen for long, but will be an ongoing thing for the poor kid.
You're right, Chucky. She didn't believe me.
What's great is how clever Chucky is to not say anything suspicious when he knows other people are around.
Hi, I like to be hugged. Good. I'd love to hug you too.
And for that one final night, everything was okay. The next day, Andy and Chucky don't want to go to school with all the lesser good guy dolls. Instead, Chucky has Andy take him on the goddamn L train, all the way to the South Side's famed Burning Barrel district. One of my favorite parts about Child's Play is how much of Chicago we get to see. While interiors were mostly filmed on sets in Culver City in Los Angeles, production began with all the exterior shoots in Chicago in January 1988. True to Chicago in January, it was a very cold shoot.
My vocal cords froze in my throat.
Like I always say, it's great when a movie shows a snapshot of a city in time. Child's Play shows us several different parts of late 80s Chicago, and I love it. Chucky's guided tour of the city takes Andy to Eddie Caputo's hideout / rat sanctuary. Come one, come all, rats, your safe haven is here. While Andy's tinkling in a trash pile, Chucky holds his thumbstick down to first-person sprint across the street. Inside the house, Chucky turns on the stove and blows out the pilot light. Eddie, hearing that he's not alone, takes out his gun and slinks around the house. A laugh lures him into the kitchen, where he fires and blows himself up along with the whole damn house. Oh my god, they did it again! They blew up a whole fucking building! Yes! That ain't no bootleg death blow. Karen's called into the police station, where Andy is enduring a little good guy bad cop. He insists to the adults that Chucky's behind all of this, but the doll won't loosen his plastic lips.
Come on, Chucky, say something. Tell me why you lied to me about everything.
Man, this scene hits hard. Norris and Karen are heartbroken about Andy's state, and Andy's so frustrated that his best friend is betraying him.
Mommy, he's doing it on purpose. He told me never to tell about him or he'd kill me.
Andy is left with a doctor who looks like a game show host, so Karen returns home with Chucky by herself. She's not sure what to think of this doll, since her sweet little son is so insistent that he's a bad guy.
Say something, damn it!
Hi, I like to be hugged.
The Chuckster's just about got her fooled when she finds out he's running without batteries, in a chilling reveal done masterfully. With the batteries out of the box, the cat's out of the bag. That Chucky's being powered by nothing but jump scares.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Karen threatens to burn Chucky in the fireplace, which finally gets him to reveal himself.
Finally see him.
You stupid bitch! You filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
With those immortal, vulgar words, Chucky immediately establishes himself as one of the nastiest little fucks you'll ever see. Chucky scream bites Karen on the arm, and when she tosses him aside, the doll gets right back up and skedaddles. She's unable to keep up with the elevator he takes down, so by the time she gets out to the street, she's lost him. Chucky's voiced by Brad Dourif, but that wasn't always going to be the case. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he was initially hired to only be Charles Lee Ray. It's confusing because he definitely did rehearsals as Chucky, even physically acting like the doll.
You stupid bitch! You filthy slut!
Still, an early cut of the movie had Chucky voiced by the incredible, amazing late Jessica Walter, who would wind up using her voice talents in Archer.
You little... Ow! Ow! Had me worried sick! Mother! Stop it!
However, the Jessica Walter version did poorly at test screenings.
And it's really funny because Chucky sounds gay.
Dourif came back in and used his worm tongue to re-record all of Chucky's lines, using a voice that sounds like a caricature of his One Flew co-star Jack Nicholson. As for the good guy doll's voice, that was done by an actual 9-year-old, Eden Gross, who would play a young Al Bundy in Married with Children the same year. Finally, John Franklin from Children of the Corn also lent his voice to the movie, as the nightmare Chucky suit guy on TV.
We even turn our heads and blink our eyes when you talk to us.
Karen finds Detective Norris and tells him the doll did it, but this Pumpkin King being has grown so tired of hearing the same old thing.
Good night, Mrs. Barkley.
Undeterred, Karen says she's going to find the peddler that sold her Chucky in the first place. She heads there, and after searching in pantomime, finds the ribald doll dude.
Mister, I'm not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, I don't think he's worried about you hurting him, Karen. In fact, he immediately tries to sexually assault her until Norris shows up with a knee to the groin. He tells the peddler there will be great suffering in Gildor if he doesn't tell him where he got the doll. The peddler says he found it in a burnt-out toy store, a place Norris is familiar with.
Charles Lee Ray died there.
Who?
Come on, Karen, pay attention to your kid. He done told you.
His real name is Charles Lee Ray.
Norris mentions the lightning strike and Ray's dying promise to kill him and Eddie Caputo.
No matter what!
And that's enough to convince Karen Barkley that her son has been right all along.
I found out that Chucky is Charles Lee Ray.
Norris still doesn't believe her, which is to his detriment, because that killer doll's in his car's back seat, and he's eager to get lethal vengeance.
Good night, asshole.
The ensuing scene is full of car crashes, a cigarette lighter to Chucky's face, and a dangerous knife stab. Damn, Chucky, you down with incantations and castrations? The entire time this is happening, though, I'm wondering why Norris doesn't just pull over, man. Eventually, the car flips over in this movie's third awesome practical stunt. Chucky reveals that he's the Lakeshore Strangler because his stabbing has terrible aim. He gloats that Norris can't hurt him in this body, but a gunshot sends him screaming and running away. He heads to the home of his voodoo priest, Dr. John, which is where the Chucky animatronics really get to shine.
It's me, Chucky. What do you think? The gree work?
While Gremlins had shown off recent advancements in animatronics, Chucky was a whole different ballgame. 9 different animatronic dolls were used, many of them designed for specific purposes. When they needed Chucky to walk, they used the model with a servo motor, like you'd find in a radio-controlled car. When they needed Chucky to make grand gestures and be demonstrative, they would use the cable model that gave them finer control over his body parts. Other models included one that was essentially just a rod puppet, and one that simply flailed around thanks to a power drill motor in its body. These animatronics were controlled by groups of up to 9 dudes, each operating a specific part of the Chuckster. Sometimes working beneath sets built 6 feet off the ground, one person would control blinking and the movement of Chucky's eyeballs. A different person would handle the eyebrows, yet another his cheeks. The late puppeteer Brock Winkless would manipulate Chucky's jaws with a mask-like apparatus while simultaneously controlling his lips with a bunch of joysticks. Holy shit.
Sleepy. Gesundheit.
The puppeteers grew more comfortable as production went on, so they'd loosen up and give the doll more and more personality. Chucky's voodoo is John Bishop, aka Dr. Death. He's the one who taught him how to ade-do the Dambala, which is part of a voodoo spell to give someone life after death. But now Chucky's starting to suffer in this body.
Last night I got shot. You know something? It hurt. It hurt like a son of a bitch, it even bled.
The doll body is becoming more human, and that's reflected by his change in appearance. His skin has changed from shiny plastic to fleshy with imperfections. His eyes have grown sunken, and his hairline receded, giving him a Jack Nicholson appearance to match his voice. But Dr. Facilier doesn't want to help Chucky, because he's no longer proud of his work.
You're an abomination. An outrage against nature!
I mean, dude's not wrong. Chucky takes Dr. John down with a voodoo doll, something that's weird to see in a Chucky movie in retrospect. This voodoo element was the biggest change director Holland made to the script. You get the sense that Mancini wasn't a fan.
Well, that's a whole other kind of magic that's going on in this movie. So it's like, well, if he has a voodoo doll of this guy, why can't he make voodoo dolls of all the other people he wants to kill? Probably best not to think about it too much.
Holland also wrote in the next thing that John tells Chucky under duress. To get out of this doll body, he'll have to transfer his soul into the first person he told his real identity to.
I don't believe it.
Well, believe it, Chuck, and try not to be weird about it, okay?
I have a date with a 6-year-old boy.
Damn it, Chucky, phrasing! On his way out, Chucky stabs the voodoo doll, fatally wounding John Bishop before he's found by Norris and Karen. His last words are to tell them the trick to destroying Chucky.
Through the heart.
Well, his last words and half words, I guess. With Chucky's doll body turning human, he's racing to get his soul out of this plastic prison. No one at the kid jail believes Andy, of course, and after some heartbreaking tears, he's left getting chased by Chucky, who's depicted in various ways, including this thing that lives in my nightmares. Andy flees to an operating room where Chucky's attacks leave him scared and having to arm himself with a scalpel. Oh my god, someone please tell me that thing has been dulled. I am so worried for Alex Vincent with how he keeps tripping all over the place. fireplace. A doctor named Ardmore appears and tries to treat Andy's troubles with sedation. No fair, no fair. Chucky treats the doc like a regular Judd Crandall, then affixes to his head an electroshock thingy. As Andy screams for him to stop, Chucky turns on the juice and gets Ardmore's head smoking. It's sad how scared Andy gets of this kill as he runs, or trips, away. I could have used some better burnt makeup though. Karen and Norris get to the hospital too late, but Karen knows Andy will return home on his own. He does, and barricades the front door before ducking into the closet so he can play at Laurie Strode. Chucky makes his way up to the apartment, suffering an insult along the way.
Oh, yeah.
Ugly doll. Fuck you.
With the front door barred, the guy in the Chucky suit will have to get in the festive way. He's right here, and he ain't no Santa Claus. Chuck stalks around with his voodoo knife and remembers that it's Andy's birthday. As a gift, Chucky bequeaths unto Andy his first ever punny one-liner. The first of so fucking many. With a body at his disposal, Chucky gets to the chanting.
Hade Dewey Dembella.
His words bring all the clouds to the town, and they're like, we're bringing rain down. Damn right, this is a lightning round. He could teach you, but he murdered the guy who taught him. It's a good thing the original incantation recitation takes so long, because Karen and Norris are able to get inside and stop Chucky before he can finish the job. Norris hunts for Chucky in Karen's hideous bedroom. Come on, lady, why you decorating like this a Holiday Inn Express? Chucky takes out the detective with a bat before Karen shoots him away. He doesn't like that. I love that fucking yell. She's able to get Chucky into the fireplace like she threatened to do earlier, and with him shaking like a Furby to get out, it's up to Andy to ultimately light the fire for his best friend.
We're friends to the end, remember?
This is the end, friend.
Awesome fire stunt here, as a flame engulfed Chucky gets out of the fireplace and crawls all around the furniture before finally burning down to a doll-shaped pile of ashes. And that really should be that. Of course it's not. Chucky comes back as a scary-looking burnt boy, even though there's clearly more to him now than there appeared to be a minute ago. Still, can't argue that it doesn't look awesome. And also very weird as he slowly walks towards Andy. Earlier shots of Chucky running were done with a simple camera dolly, but for the stalking burnt boy shot, they relied on their trusty suit performer. Though he was mostly played by animatronics, Chucky was sometimes a person in a suit. When he runs through the hallway in the background, for instance, he was played by David Kirshner's 2-year-old neighbor, Hunter Marks. But Ed Gale is the true MVP of Chucky's suit performers, and deserves more recognition than he gets. The Michigan-born actor was born with dwarfism, and prior to Child's Play, had been Howard the Duck. He'd later be another killer doll in Dolly Dearest. Gale tried to replicate the movements of Yeager's animatronics. He was also a total boss and did the extended, unforgettable fire stunt.
Okay. Alright, you're out. Stop.
This was done on a set that was built 30% larger than their usual one, since Gale was about 30% larger than a Chucky doll. Ed Gale's work was critical when they couldn't use an animatronic, and boy, did he look terrifying in that Chucky mask. Another little chase scene happens, this one with a Shining reference, and eventually Karen starts blasting the doll away. First the head, then a hand, then a leg, like she went to the Joe Biden Police Academy. A couple of shots up close empties the gun and hopefully sends the doll to 7th heaven. And that's when Norris's partner, Officer Mustache, shows up. Dude doesn't believe Norris when he says it was the doll. Come on, this thing? It's just burnt plastic. Absolutely nothing to worry about. Even with Chucky's head cheerleading his body, Karen's able to stop this last attack and toss the torso to the ground. Norris takes aim and fires, finally killing Chucky by shooting him through the heart. It is a nasty sight to see, with a delightful dying doll noise to hear.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Oh, it still creeps
Though he'll
me
be
out.
back later, Chucky's dead for now. Everyone leaves and the movie ends with a totally unnecessary freeze frame. How many good guys and gals got good and gutted? Let's find out. After I open this present from Zoran. Ha, he shouldn't have. I told you once before, and I'll fucking do it again. 6 people died in Child's Play. 5 dudes, including Chucky as a doll, and 1 Aunt Maggie. And here, we'll have a running tally for this series. Chucky specifically killed 4 people. 1 with a knife, 1 with a hammer, 1 with fire, and 1 with electricity. Let's see how creative the little bastard gets. Finally, a runtime of 87 minutes left us with a kill on average every 14 and a half minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Chucky in his doll form. Whether you include everything he went through in this movie's final sequence, or just the gunshot to the heart, it is gross the way this doll melts and bleeds all over the place. Doll machete for lamest kill will go to Charles Lee Ray the Human. Voodoo escape or not, the Lakeshore Strangler was brought down by some bullets. And you know what? Chuck's a funny guy, so let's do a new award just for this series. The champion Chuckle for funniest part. The inaugural winner probably should be Batter Up, but I'm gonna go with my personal favorite. And that's it. Child's Play came out in 1988 and kicked off one of my all-time favorite horror franchises. I'm so glad to be looking at it again. Until next time, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
The first Child's Play kept its killer doll mostly hidden in the Cabbage Patch. Peekaboo! But Child's Play 2 puts the Chuckster front and center as the story moves from the city to the suburbs. After all, the schools are better.
Don't forget your lunch. Egg salad. Yeah.
Regarded by some as the best of the franchise, Child's Play 2 sees a more world-weary Andy Barclay.
It doesn't matter. Wherever I go, Chucky will find me.
It also gives us Kyle, the cigarette-smoking foster sister.
These things are very bad for you.
And an epic finale at the Good Guy Factory.
I'm gonna get you, fuckers!
If only the whole thing hadn't been shot in constant wide angles, it'd be perfect.
Sorry.
Well, that's okay. No foul.
This week, watch the shortest film in the franchise. Pun intended.
That's not funny.
Then on Friday, tune in to get your eyes on the Kill Count Recount. Only on Dead Meat.
From now on, no more Mr. Good Guy.
Child's Play 2 can currently be watched on the pictured streaming platforms. Dead Meat always recommends you watch the movie for yourself before its kill count. It's the only way to have your own properly informed opinion. Kill counts are never meant to replace the experience of watching a film.
Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count Recount. Just as a clarification, I will not be doing a recount for the 2019 Child's Play remake. By the time I made that kill count, the show had grown into what it is now, so there's not really a need to remake that with all the behind-the-scenes information. Also, it's not part of the Mancini canon, and y'all know how much I love that Mancini canon. I want to thank some patrons like Avery, Dominic Abraham, Master Scooty, Dana Hogarth, Mycene, Michaela Harvey, and Sean Blanford. Thanks, everyone. Be good people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, yeah, I think I do got side with him. Yeah, I think Child's Play 2, I think is maybe kind of, yeah, I'd say a little bit better than the first one. But still, like, it's like hands up, hands off to the OG, man, the one that started it all. And also, by the way, yeah, I have been to Chicago, but no offense, like, man, it was the only thing that I can remember from it was the freezing cold, man. Like, it was so cold. Like, man, like, I had on like maybe like 5 jackets, 3 sweaters, 2-3 shirts on, and I was still cold. Like, man, it was so freezing cold. I just remember there was snow and ice everywhere. Like, but honestly, I do want to go back, when it's, warmer, so I can really take in the sights, and, yeah, I had no idea the guy who played the bad guy from Children of the Corn made a cameo in this. Like, what? And that the guy who plays the detective also voiced Jack Skellington. Like, what? I had no idea. Like, what? That's crazy. What? Yeah, it has become more of a family thing, because, like, which one was it? One of the Chucky movies, Brad Dourif's real life daughter, Fiona, comes in, and she also plays Charles Lee Ray's daughter in the movie as well. Like, that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's crazy, man. It's a 8 or 9 people to control Chucky. That's crazy. And like, yeah, I can't imagine, like, just, like, it wasn't just one effect that they used to make Chucky. It was so many others. And that's really cool. Yeah, and that's it. It's my reaction to Child's Play 1988 Kill Count, Recount by Dead Meat. Everyone, take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.